Baby, I'm drizzy. Baby, I'm drizzy. Baby, I'm drizzy. Baby, I'm drizzy. What? I'm about to have a son. He needs a blanket. What, a guy can't have hobbies? Velocity. The name of the game for pitchers these days. It seems like every major league team has at least one guy who can dial it up to triple digits. In fact, the league as a whole is seeing increases in the average velocity across the board. Pitching and monitoring technology has come a long way in the last 10 years, and it's a big reason that this shift has happened. And the workouts and routines that we're seeing are directly reflecting that fact. Everyone seems to have their own customized program to help them become the hardest throwing version of themselves. And though I may have been a little bit late to the train, I still benefited quite a bit. And now I'm gonna share it with you. I recently made a video explaining in broad terms how I learned to throw 100 miles an hour over the span of my major league career. I then asked you to write cheese down in the comments if you wanted me to release the entire routine and break it down a little bit more detail. And needless to say, you guys delivered. Welcome to another edition of Baseball, 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 Baseball. Why didn't you go down there and click on that little like button? Make sure you subscribe to the video so you don't miss any in the future. And if you like videos like this, check out my live show every Monday morning at 8 a.m. either here or on Twitch. Listen to my podcast and join the Discord where we're always talking about baseball and we're always having a good time. Let's start at the beginning. As is the case for most high school pitchers drafted, you're probably not throwing as hard as you inevitably will, and I was no exception. This is my scouting report that was released by Baseball America right after I was drafted. I was even able to find my draft scouting video, probably my worst outing I ever had as a high school pitcher. Though I did flash mid-90s in a couple of tournaments, my velocity was kind of inconsistent. So what I was drafted on was projectability. I had size, I had strength, and they thought I would grow into the ability to throw hard more consistently. Shirt change. Louisiana Bayou. Get it? One major part of what made me projectable was the idea that I was going to put on some weight and therefore some muscle. Now, I definitely put on weight. Muscle came a little bit later. But slowly and surely, over time, I put on some velocity. Now, it wasn't anything crazy. I didn't go from like 89 to 97 in 1 year, but every year incrementally just added a little bit more velocity and then held my top velocities a little bit better. I had the frame for it and I was starting to take advantage of that, but at no point was I ever trying to throw hard on purpose. My main focus actually was my ability to throw strikes. I had an issue with walking guys through the minor leagues in 2010 where I walked 60 in 70 innings, which isn't ideal. But as I kept moving up in the ranks, the walks kind of still kept coming. I was never under like a 4.5 per 9 walk guy. So instead of trying to increase my velocity from the 91 to 94 that I was kind of sitting at, I focused very heavily on smooth mechanics and throwing it over the plate. And this finally manifested in 2014, enough to where the big league team thought I might be ready to make my debut. I then proceeded to walk 7 without striking out anybody. And my mission to throw the ball over the plate just continued. I didn't really see a huge increase in velo until I was moved to the bullpen in 2015. That is where our velocity journey begins. 2015 was actually a great case study for how you increase velocity from becoming a starter to a reliever. That year, I became one of 2 pitchers ever to throw 30 plus appearances out of the bullpen and 15 plus appearances as a starter. The majority of the relief appearances were in the second half, and as a reliever, my velocity increased to 95.7 miles per hour on average, as opposed to 92.9 as a starter. And that got me thinking, why don't I throw this hard all the time? What is different? Simply put, I adopted a reliever's 1 inning at a time mindset, and I added a long toss throwing routine. When I was a starter, I was under the impression that long toss was messing up my mechanics because everything outside of 60 feet I was having to change in order to get the ball where I needed to go. But when I got moved to the bullpen, I recommitted myself to that because I had shown up to that point that season that I could throw strikes. Through conversation with my pitching coach at the time, he thought I had some velocity to offer as well. So the long toss routine looked like this. And seriously, I know it's a different shirt again. There's going to be a lot of different shirts in this video. It turns out that when you're trying to make a video about the 9 years of your career, you're going to forget some stuff and you have to re-record some stuff. And I'm tired of wearing the same gray shirt over and over again. So stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me. I thought of long toss in 3 stages, and I continued this throughout my entire career. Number 1, the moving back stage. You're slowly but surely trying to get your arm warmed up. And I had one main rule, 60 feet or closer, which is the length of the mound. I would use my pitching mechanics. Everything after that, I would start stepping through with my feet, just like this. I would then continue extending back and get all the way out. Sometimes it was 300 feet, sometimes it was 150 feet, but then we get to max distance. Phase 2, at max distance, it was all about getting some air under the ball and seeing the ball fly. I was throwing 4-seam fastballs and I wanted the ball to carry. The point of throwing at my max distance was to get the ball there. And then as I moved in, that's when we entered pull downs phase. You might know what pull downs are. It's when all those shirtless dudes get together and slap each other on the back and then throw as hard as they can into a net without actually looking to where it's going. Those. I would try to throw on a line in the air as far as I can, and as I moved in, I tried to level that throw out more and more and more. This helped me develop my carry and the feeling of throwing hard. You can't throw hard unless you throw hard. Does that make sense? And then as we got closer, we would enter phase 3. Between about 120 feet and 90 feet, I would do change-up pull downs, where I would do my step through like I did when I was moving out, but I would grip my change-up. I was throwing it as hard as I could. That is how I developed my good change-up. Once I got to 60 feet, and that's when I would throw my breaking pitches. That's when you work on the fine-tuning of those things. So once again, the 3 stages are... Did you write it down? Write it down. Also, only throwing 1 inning at a time unlocked something in my head. In the words of my AA pitching coach, Stu Clyburn, I wanted to go kick up dust. I didn't want anything left in the tank when I was done pitching. So I thought I'd just use all of that energy in 1 inning. Yes, I added 3 miles per hour, and I felt good going into the 2016 season. And the plan was to once again become a starter. I came into spring, throwing not as hard as I want to throw. Paul Molitor, my manager at the time, expressed that he liked me in the bullpen as I was kind of the setup guy at the end of the year in 15, and he wanted more of that. I concurred. So I entered 2016 as a reliever once again, and a stress fracture in my lower back ended up derailing my season.
Wow. I don't think that foam's going to work anymore.
There was never a point where I pitched that season where my back did not hurt. And I came into spring training once again in 2017 as a starter until, unfortunately, in a game against the United States, as they prepared for their WBC games, I tore my UCL in a 0-2 curveball to Andrew McCutchen, Tommy John surgery. Tommy John sucks. You can sometimes get caught up with thinking that there was something about the way you threw that got you hurt, and so you can get a little bit robotic. Coming off Tommy John, they actually wanted me to be a starter again, until eventually I saw an opportunity as a reliever, and I expressed that I wanted to do that instead. To their credit, they allowed me to do it. After we traded Ryan Presley to the Houston Astros, I got another opportunity to get to the big leagues, and by the end of that year, I was closing. My velo had not come back. I was throwing about what I was throwing in 2016, about 93.5 miles an hour on average. But this is where my velo journey begins, because in 2019, we got a new pitching coach, my guy, Wesley Vivian Johnson. His middle name, I don't know if his middle name's Vivian. I like to think that it is. Wes came from college ball and had a great track record in biomechanics. He has a great understanding of why pitchers are able to do the things they do successfully, whether that be throw strikes, move the ball around, stay healthy, and throw hard. The Twins also installed a system called Simi. It was used kind of like motion capture software that game developers use, except you don't wear anything on your body. It's just a series of cameras in the stadium that is able to pay attention to where different points in your body are in space at any given time. So it can then calculate the speeds at which those parts of your body are moving. Basically what it found was my hand moves really fast, my shoulder moves really fast, and my elbow moves really fast. My hips, they don't move anywhere. Based on the research, guys with all of those points moving quickly tended to throw the hardest. Wes saw some opportunities to be more efficient for me, and he said, quote, Trevor, I can say without a doubt that in all my years of coaching, I've never seen anyone with more natural talent than you. I cannot wait to smile from the crowd when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, you're so good at Fortnite. It's incredible. What? He really said that. Okay, fine. What he really said was, Trevor, I think you can throw 97 easily. As you can imagine, when he said those words to me, I did one of these. Really? Tell me more. And tell me more he did. Thus began my journey to throwing an 100-mile-an-hour pitch. The date was June 28th, 2019. A date that will always stick in my mind when I think about playing the Chicago White Sox. Up there with their generic stadium and the fact that the bullpen is literally always wet. Why is that bullpen always wet? This date is important for a couple main reasons. One, it's the first day that I started a new routine that was given to me by Wes in order to get my hips moving from the information we discussed before. There was also clearly a lot of proof after this day that my velocity was increasing, as my average velo before this date was 95.1 on that year, and after that date, it was average of 96 miles an hour, by far the hardest I've ever thrown. So let's show you the actual routine right now. And I can't believe that retired Trevor is about to go down to his garage and demonstrate these exercises once again. Exercises need energy. Focus Fuel. Brand new flavor green apple now available on thefocusfuel.com. Use code BASEBALL for 10% off of your order every single day. Each serving only has 2 grams of sugar, up to 100 milligrams of caffeine. It's smooth energy production without the crazy crash of the drinks. And you can take these on airplanes. How cool is that? Okay, enjoy. Go use the code. I'll see you later. Bye. So first, we got to move all the crap we just moved out of the way so that I can get to the gear that I need, because I never thought I would use this stuff again. So you'll need a medicine ball and a resistance band that you can handle holding over your head for a little bit. Now there's one rule we got to make sure we keep in mind at all times. It always starts with the ground. The stronger your foot is, that's a whole ass fire truck. Think of your foot as a hand, like a monkey gripping the ground. Think of the ground as a banana. Make sense? So we started with overhead slams times 10. Then we got step and yeets where you actually throw the ball. I didn't actually do that because I didn't want to put a hole through my own house. And then we got twisty yeets where you're throwing the ball again, both sides, 10 times. And then we got the unbeatable 4-square toss where you throw over the top through your motion. You do that both ways. You want to focus on getting down the mound. Slingshot walks, 10 on each side, where we want to focus on getting on the ball of the foot and exploding up into space. And then finish with band over the top for more 4-square throws, obviously, and do both sides so you can feel really stupid going your opposite way. Hey, sorry, it's me again. Honestly, making videos like this where there's some like technical stuff I want to show you where I can go really deep, but I kind of want to keep the video light and have fun, it's really hard to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the technical side of things, make its own little video, and host it on another channel. That link will always be in the description below. And also sub to that channel. It's just gonna be a bunch of like exercises and like nerd crap, nerd stuff. So just do that, enjoy, okay, see ya. And that was the routine that Dr. Johnson prescribed to me to do every single day to build core strength and get those hips moving. That is what I did in the weight room before going outside. There was one last part, Wes Johnson's specialty. Put simply, it's a harness that you would put on, get up on the mound, and then use it to feel leading your motion with your hips. This is a routine that I did till the last day of my career. And after June 28th, you can see a distinct difference not only in velocity, also in my mechanics. I just look so much more smooth. I look so much more powerful. I look so much more in control here. It just felt good to throw hard. What can I say? I like it. We all throwing hard, super fun. I highly recommend it. The hard work ended up paying off, and over the next couple years, I kept seeing increases. Entering my peak years, I feel like I finally had a holistic routine for throwing hard. Pitching only 1 inning, a really strong long toss routine that I was able to tailor from day to day, and a really good biomechanics program that is getting my body working as efficiently as it possibly can. So 2021 saw my highest velocities ever, at least consistently. There were a couple things that I should mention that derailed my velocity a little bit from that point on. We had a lockout in 2022 and a shortened spring training. Usually spring training's good for getting in shape and then also staying healthy, which I did not do. I tried to throw a splitter. That was stupid. Boo. Once I came back from the 3 months on the IL, my velocity quickly came back as I kind of just got rid of that stupid splitter. I shouldn't have done that. That was dumb, but I thought it was cool. Then we get to 2023. They introduced the pitch clock. I don't have as much time between pitches to catch my breath and kind of recharge to get the full velocity on it. The velocity drops a little bit, but you know what? I learned a sweeper and I threw a bunch of sliders, and you know what? I was going to retire anyway, so I got through it. All of those things together created my velocity over time. And I might be diluted. I'm retired, and usually when you retire, you can say things and then not have to back it up. But I think I could still throw 97. I could probably do it. Should I try to do it? Comments right there. That was a lot. I hope you enjoyed the story of how I learned to throw hard. If you were waiting for the baked good, today's item is a macaron, not to be confused with a macaroon. Yeah, those are two different things. And I hope that you found something that maybe is helpful for you in your own pitching, or your son's pitching, or your nephew's pitching, or whoever. Remember, below, there's going to be a link to the workout video by itself. And it's a channel that's going to have a lot of technical pitching knowledge and breakdowns and information in the future. So it's something I want to do. It's going to be paired with a Discord channel. I'm not ready to launch it yet, but I can put this video up. So we might as well do it now. Why not? Like the video. It's very helpful for helping people find it. And also subscribe, because I want 100,000 subs really, really badly. A play button. A play button would be so cool. I don't have baseball anymore. I don't have anything I'm good at. I need a trophy to tell me that I'm good at something. And don't forget the live show on Mondays, the podcast, and the newsletter. All those links are below like normal. And I will see you next time on the Trevor May Baseball channel. Godspeed.